Are you ready?
Starting now?
Well, now you just messed it up, you knob. God, you know that the shit that we go through for this, huh?
I know. Fuckers better appreciate it. What's the
right.
title of this podcast again?
I don't know. Objects, I don't know. Something with a penis, I guess.
Right.
Our fucking faces are everywhere now.
Right.
But
You're welcome, ladies.
Right. Popular with the ladies. Right. Oh, I'm not even going to apologize because hopefully it sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah, totally. This is fucking explicit now.
The explicit button. Let me use my finger.
La, 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 la.
It is time for another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And that episode starts now. All right, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And we're doing one more week of testing, and I guess we'll just hear her happy voice right off the bat. We do have a guest. Introduce yourself, guest.
Well, hi, I'm Kathy.
You're supposed to say, hi, I'm Kathy. I'm a normie.
I'm sorry. Hi, I'm Kathy. I'm a normie. I'm the sister of these knuckleheads.
well, good. See there. Now we got the proper opening. So, and again, everyone, if you heard the kind of like the bonus episode that we did, yes, Kathy's our sister. I had her do that quick bonus episode with me that we recorded a couple of weeks ago from a testing mode, but we wanted to do that one more time because we had Chris on last week. And by the way, and I should look again, the last time I looked, and hang on one second while I'm looking here, Chris's episode was doing really well. Kathy, your little 5-minute clip had 23 plays right now. Ah, shit. Chris's, and I was hoping I had this. It was at 69 before. God damn it! Now it's at 70.
Well,
whoever listened to that last one, damn you.
Right.
But no, I mean, this is I mean, by far in a week, I think the most plays we've had in such a short period of time. Right. I believe. I mean, we've got more plays on more episodes total, but the episode with Chris did really well. So I was thinking about it. So Kathy, I'm gonna relate this to the concert that Mike and I went to.
Normies
okay.
Rock.
So
Normies
what?
Rock.
I thought you said normie swap. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Occasionally.
I'm like, I'm about ready to mute you. Getting all rude on us.
Oh wow, I'm rude. Seriously.
Oh, it's just that was horrible. Okay, so anyhow, no, the concert that we just went to in Green Bay. So far, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, since we haven't had the second band on yet. Chris is right now the Velveteers. Came out really solid, sounded great, really really good. So Kathy, you're right here. There's a choice. Okay, you could either be rival sons, or if you suck, you're going to be Greta Van Fleet. And Chris goes into the rival sons spot. So just no pressure, but
striving for rival.
No, but it was and seriously, while we were talking to Chris and I said that, I'm like, watch, this will be the highest played episode. And I mean, so far in a week, I think if it hasn't been and I don't remember now going back, but one way or the other was great. So
right. Well, I know she had some people at work listening. I know at one point at the animal hospital that she works at, they started playing the episode like out loud for several people to listen to.
Really?
And and they nixed that fairly quickly because not safe for work, kids.
Right.
Right. Yeah. If you're listening to this, for instance, on a Sunday morning in church, probably not the best place. I would laugh if somebody was listening to us in church. We had one of our followers, Daphne, the one we talked about. She's the one that had the mug and posted that picture with the mug recently.
Right.
Daphne said that she was just listening to one of our episodes in the grocery store the other day, and she's like, I spent way too much time in there because I was trying to concentrate on what you guys were saying. Just so you know, though, my chili's gonna suck. She goes, I forgot to buy the crackers for my chili, so it's your fault.
Nice.
And I said, good. I said, we'll take that hit. But yeah, don't do anything where you got to concentrate. Just listen to us. We're having fun here. So, but really quick, Mike. It's 2 weeks from now is your radio gig. So
Right.
I'll start posting about that again. But give a quick recap of what that is. It's on the website, but give a quick recap of what's coming up for you.
Yeah, well, it's WJCU. They're one of the college radio stations here in Cleveland. They're a nonprofit, and every year in February they do a radiothon, and I donate money to go on the air and play all my horrible loud music. So I will be doing that August 26th from 7:30 to 9:30 Eastern. Was it Daylight Standard? I can never get that straight. Right?
Eastern Standard.
Real-time daylight standard.
Whatever it is now, before it changes. From 7:30 to 9:30. You can find it at wjcu.org. It's on the TuneIn app. WJCU has an app of their own you can download through whatever you download your apps through. And just being a part of the community, I get to do that today. Support something cool, local radio, and like I said, go on and play my loud, horrible music for everybody.
Do they
So do you?
let
ahead,
you
Gav.
play anything you want, or do you have to follow a format?
Well, I mean, it's the show is Metal on Metal. It is the longest running heavy metal radio show I know in America and possibly the world.
Really?
They're celebrating their 40th anniversary this year. Bill Peters is the host. He's been doing it since 1982.
That's cool.
And it is, and I get to be a part of it every year. So that's a very cool thing. But to answer your question, yes, it is, hard rock, heavy metal, but I throw a little punk in there too, because that's what I do.
And do they, and I don't remember, do you, can you take call-ins or anything like that, or requests, or you just have everything all set up before you go?
I set everything up. I take one request. Chris gets to request one song, because,
That's so sweet.
yeah. Well, she earns it.
Right.
So, but everything, it's me. Like Adam Sandler and The Wedding Singer. I have the microphone and I'll say the goddamn thing I want.
So if the words sober not mature happen to slip out of your mouth,
they may just yes, they may slip out.
That's cool.
Awesome. And I think so that week, obviously, we're not going to record on that Friday. Maybe we can do it on Saturday. But
right.
One way or the other, that'd be cool. Kathy, are you eating or
I'm
something?
sorry, I was eating the leftover popcorn from your Mars Cheese Castle.
and that's fine. You do have a mute button, right? I mean, I'm just wondering. See, look at what we have to deal with here. This is so we're learning something else. I guess, Mike, from now on, just a note to self: we have to tell our guests not to eat a popcorn from a cellophane bag.
And since it brought up the mute button in Kathy's episode, and why you didn't jump on this, Bill, is beyond me. But in Kathy's little short episode there. There's a quote, and if there's any way you can isolate it and play it later, Bill, I would love it. She prefers the purple.
Oh. Right.
She prefers when it's purple.
You know what? Now that you say that, I heard about that, but yeah, I can do that. Maybe I'll just add that. I'll add that to our intro or something like that if I could try to isolate that. After it's like, whatever it is, chicks think, I prefer the purple.
I prefer when it's purple.
But yeah, so also the information for Mike's deal coming up is on the website also. It's on our sponsor page, so SoberNotMature.com. Just click on the sponsor page, and then you'll get the links. Also a link to the website, to the radio station website. But in the next, between now and the 26th, we'll I'll post up some more stuff on there.
Right.
I know we did it, but I wanted to obviously have you talk about that because we haven't talked about it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
But
cool.
so
yeah.
cool.
And in the week leading up to it, if you're on Facebook and you follow my dumbass J. Michael Harris, I saturate when I lead up to it. So,
Yay.
Yeah, that's cool. And anything you post like that I'll, I can grab some of it, cross-post it on Instagram
Cool.
too. So we'll get that on there too. So real quick, kind of a side note too. And I'm listening, as you know, I listen to all these different podcasts, and all these different podcasts have different seasons. So people are on like season 2 and season 3 and whatever.
Mhm.
So when should we switch?
Switch to what?
To season 2. A season 2, and I'm thinking about it. Is that this is episode number 25.
Mhm.
It seems like a logical place to do it, but a lot of these people, they'll take a break, they'll make a change. I don't think we're going to change anything.
Oh God, no.
But basically, we've already upgraded the software and all that stuff, so we
Mhm.
got all that in place. But I was just thinking about I'm just also curious, like on Spotify and things like that, how it separates it. So we may make if you don't care, then we'll make this the end of season 1, and then 26 will be the start of season 2.
Look at me, I'm the grand finale.
Ah.
Right. Oh. Okay. No, we got to go one more week. We got to go one. Oh, I just thought about that. Damn it.
Well, I was actually thinking after episode 52, after a year, so you can slam that, that goof nut that told you wouldn't make it a year.
Oh yeah, we're almost I'm going to be fronting here a little bit by saying it, but we're coming up on 6 months. So,
Right. Yeah.
So technically, as of episode 26 would be halfway. Yeah, it'll be
would.
20. Yeah. So why don't we do it after
Oh,
episode
no.
Half of
26?
52 is 26.
No.
Good job, Bill.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was saying
Math
that.
is my
But yeah,
friend.
either way.
I would prefer to be. Can I be on next week so I can still be the grand finale?
Nope, we're gonna get
Because
somebody
I'm
real on.
fabulous. Oh, come on, man.
Well, I don't know. We'll think about it. All right. So, but no, you ate popcorn. You just threw yourself out of there. So,
Mhm.
nope. So, quick question though, and I know I brought it up, and we've told a ton of different stories about you, but I wanted to give you the opportunity, out of all these stories that you listened to and you've yelled at your whatever streaming device you're using at the time, are the stories at least true, whether they make you feel foolish or not? But
if they're
are they-
flattering or not, right?
yeah. Have they been true and accurate? I figured this is your opportunity.
Yes, they're true. They're all true.
See, I wanted to give you a chance, but I also wanted you to admit that
Well,
on
you
the
know I'm
recording.
not going to
so
lie about
that's
it. I'm way too straight and narrow for that.
I know. I know. Well, that's the thing, and I know both Mike and I have said it before that you're one of the nicest people on the planet.
Mhm.
Between you, Kimmy, Jody,
Wow. Yes.
and Chris.
Yes,
Chris even falls into
she
there.
does.
She does.
Chris is evil. She's got an evil mind.
Oh, yeah.
She's still a really, really good person. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the chicks rock.
But yes, absolutely, absolutely. All right. So, do you have? Because I've got a couple of questions. Because the whole thing is that obviously you're a normie, but you're part of the family. You've been around us, all those different things. So I've got questions. But is there anything in particular that you want to talk about, or kind of get out there? Anything at all?
You start, and then I'll chime in.
Okay.
I'm actually. Hang on, I've got a question.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Go
right.
ahead.
I have a question.
Okay.
I almost didn't ask because now I feel bad. But
Right.
Mike, anything on your mind?
Well, no. It's actually a question for Kathy.
Yes.
Describe. You certainly knew Bill before he got sober and after he got sober. What are some of the changes you've seen in him, in his behaviors and his attitudes and that sort of thing? What's it look like, the before and after picture?
For the most part,
That's a great question.
for the most part, he's. Bill, your personality is the same. You're still. Well, it is. The good, bad, everything is pretty much the same. The only time where I would see, or I could identify a big difference was the last 6 months before you quit drinking, because then there was definitely There was a huge difference there. You became somebody I didn't know. Um, and I mean, just really, you know, putting together all the bad, it's just really just somebody I didn't know, somebody I couldn't talk to, somebody I couldn't reason with, somebody I was worried about. And when things were really extreme, it wasn't even 6 months. It was probably the last few, I would say from Christmas forward. So for 5 months, it was really extreme and you were very different. But other than that, your personality before and your personality after are pretty much the same. Um,
So, I mean, expand on that though, the different part, and I know what you mean because I mean, you and I have talked
yeah.
about this, but for other people out there, and first of all, that's a great question, Mike, because if there are normies that are listening, this is probably one of those questions that they're wondering.
Mm-hmm.
But no, seriously, because I know you mentioned from my birthday, even looking back, you
Oh,
thought there was some
I
trouble,
forgot
but I
about
know,
your
but
birthday. I forgot
Christmas,
about your birthday. Yeah, so let's give it a
well,
good
and I'm
six
just
months. Yeah.
Well,
So,
and then, yeah, 6, 7 months. But either way, Christmas, yeah, Christmas was definitely
hmm
problematic, and then Dad's funeral and
yeah.
whatever. But so when you say different and in that, what do you just expand on that?
Oh gosh, you want details? It was
Whatever. I mean, it's fine. It's nothing. It's nothing that you and I haven't
right.
talked about. You're not going to shock me and be like, oh,
No, well, okay, so the biggest differences were so just in general, when I found out that when I got that phone call the day before I came up and uh saying that something's wrong with your brother and if you can't get up here, I'm going to take him to the ER. You know, Mark and I had an idea of what was going on, but looking back after you went through detox and moved into the Keating Center and that sort of thing. Um, the times that we got together, we all got together a few times a year, 3 times a year, 4 times a year, something like that. And it was always at times where there was a party. It was Christmas, it was 4th of July, it was your 40th birthday, so times when we were all out, having beers and sitting at the beach or, going golfing or celebrating, playing charades, whatever. And would I have said at those times that you drank too much? Sure, but we all did. Did I know that you were a guy that woke up in the morning and, had to drink to calm yourself down to put your contacts in? No. So that was shocking to me. And I saw some of that, not that specific, but in that 5 or 6 months, your birthday was one. We were down for your birthday. The kids and mom and I were down for your birthday, Christmas. Um, and your dad's funeral, or those are the three. And then at the time, I mean, before the year or two before you sobered up, you and I used to talk every day, at least once a day. And it was in those last months where I saw some differences and just an attitude where you were just it's like you just didn't give a fuck about anything. You did, but you didn't. You did in the sense that like you wanted to be around spend time with the kids and spend quality times with the kids. But um, I remember having a conversation with you one night, and I don't remember the specifics, but I remember saying that you better be careful or you're going to end up living in your fucking car, your fucking piece of shit car at the time that you used to complain about. And generally speaking, when you and I have always gotten along ever since we were kids, and when one of us says something like that to the other, it's like, oh, geez, okay, don't make, I don't want to make you mad. Okay, sorry, and we kind of work it out and move forward. And you were just like, yeah, okay, whatever, hang up. And it was different. Christmas was, um, it's okay to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Christmas, we were going out to, we would go out to Ohio to our families every year and spend time, and usually 4 or 5 days, whatever. And uh, you came down with and met us, and so we could drive. We could caravan out together. There were times that we'd do we name the kids or no?
Yeah, I've said
Okay.
Derek and Kylie
So you
before.
and
Yeah.
Derek were coming down, and Mark and Kylie and I we were going to caravan out to Ohio together. And we met at the gas station, and you pumping gas, filling up the car, whatever. You went inside, and you were not feeling great at all. And I was like, "What's wrong with you?" And you're like, I don't know," because you're like tripping over shit and whatever. So it was one of those. I'm like, "Do you want me to drive?" And you're like, "Yeah, I really need to get some sleep. I haven't been sleeping well lately." Okay, fine. So I was like, "Derek, go with Uncle Mark." The kids got into our car, and I drove out there. And so, I remember being in the car, and I'm like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And you're like, I can't sleep. Like I was telling you, I've been sick. I can't figure out what it is." And I'm like, "You seem like you're really drunk." You're like, "No, it's like," you're like, "No, it's noon. Why the heck? No, it's this. I wish I was drunk. I would feel better. That kind of thing." And so we drove out. And that night, Mark was mad because he was like, when did I get to be the kid's babysitter? You just, put Derek in the car and didn't even say a thing." And I'm like, I didn't want him driving out there. And he's like, I'm like, "I think he was like lit." He's like, "What the fuck? Why is he drinking at noon?" I'm like, "I don't know." I'm like, I think he was drunk. I said, I didn't think it was safe for him to drive out there with Derek. So that was, but it was kind of a denial thing. Cause you told me, you're like, "No, no, I just don't feel good." And I believed, even though I thought, and Mark and I talked about it, and he's like, "How the fuck could that be the case? That can't be true." And I'm like, "I don't know. That's what I was thinking too." So, we, you know, it was, Bill says it's not true. And
Well,
I'm
and
like, "Okay, I believed you."
well, and that's the thing is that that's part of the problem. And Mike, I don't think this is going to surprise you at all because we've talked about these things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was drunk. Everything
Mm-hmm.
you thought was true, but
Right.
I did that. I did that to Dawn all the time too. It's like, no, it's not this, it's not that.
Uh-huh.
But and I forgot about Christmas. Obviously, Dad's
Yeah.
funeral. I remember. I mean, I had talked about that openly on
Mm-hmm.
here. I was loaded. But yeah, I almost forgot about the Christmas thing. But yeah, and it's like I said, it just I don't know. Like Mike and I were talking about this one time. So with me being that far away, and you brought up a great point because Mike and I were talking about that a couple episodes ago, or maybe it was last the wedding. Yeah, Kathy,
Oh, right.
you're in
Yeah.
Mark's wedding,
That's a good
Mm-hmm.
where
story.
Dad brought up that thing. But the whole point was is that in those circumstance, I could blend for a little bit as long as I and I'm going to use big old air quotes here, controlled
Right.
myself.
Right.
But so again, the Christmases, the summer things. But the problem was like when Dawn and I got together, is that we do all these things, but then when the party stopped, I kept going.
Yeah.
Yep.
And of course that was years ago. And Mike, obviously, I know you were the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So I mean, you're talking that was December. I didn't get sober till, April. So that was 4 months, and I was I was clearly in trouble
Yeah.
then. But
I
um,
didn't,
yeah. So I
but
mean, is
I
that?
don't think I saw
Oh, go
you.
ahead.
I don't think, I mean, again, we talked every day, like once a day, sometimes twice a day. But I don't think I saw you again until April, or no, I'm
Right.
sorry.
Or
I'm sorry.
March. No,
Dad's
Dad's
funeral. But so between
right.
Christmas and April, I saw you, once. And,
Right.
you know,
And it didn't get any better,
that
just
was,
so you
well,
know.
that was another, the funeral, right? The funeral was another one where
Spoiler
like,
alert.
came out of the blue, where, you and I drove together to go to the funeral. Or Mark and Kylie drove together. I don't know what,
You
yeah,
guys
I
hear
don't know
that?
what that is.
I don't either.
I don't think I heard anything.
It's like,
Huh. Well, that must be on our end.
Yep.
okay,
Okay, it's gone now.
I'm
All
not
Okay,
right.
so
touching anything. No cellophane bags, nothing.
no, it was and it's happened before. I think it's like some sort of an internet interruption. Remember when and you'll probably hear it on the recording mic. It happened to me a couple of times when I was still in Wisconsin. It's like a buzzing sort of thing.
Ah.
So something's going through there. So for everyone there, apologize.
Yeah.
You didn't miss anything. Both Kathy and I shut up while that was happening anyhow. So,
Yeah.
Well, here's
but
the problem. See, we're drinking, and you people are around us, and you're slowing us down, and you're getting in our way. That's really the problem.
Yeah, right. Because you can't, because if you openly drank whatever volume you're
Right.
drinking in front of other people, it'd be
Hmm.
like, what the heck is going on?
Right. So we just have to tell you we're not feeling well and we're tired.
Right, right.
Yep.
Well, and those were true statements. I was tired. I wasn't feeling good, but it was because I was drunk.
Right.
And I wasn't sleepy because I was drinking a lot and all
Hmm.
those different things. So all those again, I wasn't lying to you about those statements, but yeah, I'm not going to go, oh yeah, by
Just
the way, I
omitting
drank.
a few things.
Right?
You know, like
Right.
the half a gallon of whiskey I have in my belly right now.
Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, the half truths, the just enough,
Hmm.
only answering the questions that you're directly asked,
Yeah.
type of thing. But
Uh-huh.
so does that? I mean, does that answer the question, Mike, or do you got more questions on that?
It actually
I'm
wasn't.
seriously.
No, seriously, I was looking for, he's a better person now.
Well, I mean,
He's so much more caring and loving, but no, of course not. He's still the same asshole he was
well,
before.
but Mike,
Well,
I mean,
hey,
between the two of us, we have always been close.
Uh-huh.
And I mean,
Right.
I could count on one hand the number of times that we've actually gotten in a fight. It just
Right.
rarely happens. The times that it happened were definitely, it was probably during that time. I can think of one or two during that time, but otherwise, we've always been like close and besties. And I mean, you are definitely kinder, gentler. Yes, you are a better person. But as far as like your personality and how we get along is, you're still it's not like a drastic thing. I mean, I hear people talk about, all um, sobriety, and if I don't get to drink anymore, I'm going to be a dud. I'm this, I'm that, I'm not going to be any fun. And I don't see that at all. You definitely are more, but like I said, from my perspective, um,
He's still a dick. He can say it.
no, but it's not, but he's not,
and I'm
but
okay
we've
with that.
always,
I know.
he's never been like,
I just apologize what I
Right.
am now.
Right.
That's the only difference. I just actually say I'm sorry and I
Right.
mean it.
Right.
no, but I mean, Bill's never been like that with me though. So,
All right, good.
So the thing of it is though, when so for anyone listening that got uncomfortable during that story, and it's here's the thing, and this is going to be a weird way to put this, Mike. I know you're going to understand, but
Mhm.
I need to hear those stories again, and I need to feel those stories again because that was a very uncomfortable. How long was that? 10, 15 minutes. Extremely uncomfortable, but I don't mean that in a bad way, because the thing of it is, and Mike, you and I have talked about it, I don't know how many times, is that there's I get it, we all have one day at a time, live in one day, live in the future, or I'm sorry, live in the present, not the future, forget the past. But I'm of the opinion, and Mike, you and I have talked about this, that you gotta take a peek back there every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
And it's okay for somebody to bring up those stories, because then if you brought up that story and told that story, Kathy, and if one of two things happened, if I got mad, that'd be a problem, or if I didn't feel anything when you told that story, that'd be a huge problem. But nothing for me to get mad at. And when Mike asked that question, I just I kick back on my chair and I'm just like, here we go,
Yep.
here we go. but it's okay,
Yeah.
and that's one of the whole points of in having somebody as close as you and I are. Everything you just explained, and to Mike's point of asking that question, you've only known him, you've only known sober
Right.
Mike. You
Right.
hear his stories. I've only known sober Mike. But I believe your stories.
Yeah, I know you do.
But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting. For me, it's an interesting perspective, and yeah, just again, yeah, they're uncomfortable, but again, in my opinion, you got to be able to hear those stories. You got to be able to take it, because that's the only way that I'm going to get better. In my opinion, I feel that's the way that we get better as sober individuals, to be
Oh,
able to face
absolutely.
those things.
And I'll go a step further. It's one of the benefits of working this program is we can be uncomfortable and we can be accountable, and we can say, yes, that was me. Yes, I was that horrible human being, and I'm not anymore. But I can walk through that uncomfortability. I can't even say the goddamn word now. I can be uncomfortable in that situation and get through it, and not have to, and not allow myself to go, oh, well, I feel uncomfortable. Oh my God, I've got to medicate myself in some way. No, I can be uncomfortable because I made someone else uncomfortable. Now they can make me uncomfortable because I made them uncomfortable, and we can walk through it and get to the other side of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And and the other thing too, when we were talking about this, God, probably, I don't know, shit, it could even be 10 episodes ago where, and we've had people ask us, I've had people ask me, they're like, man, you guys are just kind of bearing your souls out there. And here's the thing is, I understand where these words are going. I understand they're going out to, maybe in our case, only hundreds of people. Okay. But they're still going out to hundreds of people,
Right.
But the other thing too is that part of when we're having these conversations, it's like a meeting. It's like therapy. It's getting this shit off our chest, and it really is another level of our recovery and our sobriety and all those different things. But I mean, I've had people say, damn, you guys are talking about some shit, man. And you know what? It's okay, because the thing of it is that here's the cool part, like kind of what your point was, is that when all's said and done, I'm going to walk downstairs. I'm not going to bow, kind of like raise my head down, have to be afraid to look Kathy in the face. I wouldn't be afraid to look my daughter in the face after I told that story again. That was an uncomfortable story, but an important one to tell again, and I don't have to be uncomfortable around my kids when they start hearing this, or other family members.
Right.
Everyone knows, the people that are going to hear this, the people close to me. And if somebody walked up off the street, that I don't know, somebody that followed us and are like, damn, dude, and I'd be like, yeah, it is what it is, man.
But yeah,
so,
but who, I don't know, I don't feel any of that at all. Like you said, I see this all as just positive and progress, and I mean, what you guys are doing is helpful. I mean, it's helpful to me. I mean, I listen every week, and part of it makes me laugh. Part of it,
good.
Right?
Yeah, good.
But also part of it makes
we're funny guys.
Part of it makes me think. I mean, because the program, the 12-step program, that you guys are going through, there are aspects of that program that are just teaching me how to be a better person. And
nice.
I do take away.
So stop on.
Yeah.
Stop on that real quick, because you had mentioned that before, and you and I haven't talked about that yet. But even pick, like, what do you mean? I mean, are there specific things that kind of pop off the top of your head? Because and I know Chris had mentioned that too. That and you had mentioned that, Mike, when you were talking about it, that some of these normies were getting these bits and pieces of information.
Right.
So what came up that you're kind of like, oh?
Well, okay. The first one that I remember was the Hupple, when you guys talked about the
right.
Which is Hupple the absolutes?
Yeah, the four absolutes. Yep. Honesty, unselfishness, purity, and love.
Yes.
Right.
So that, hearing those and hearing how you strive through this program, strive to achieve that on a daily basis, makes me think twice. Wow, okay, I should go back. That's something that every person should be adopting. To live, to be honest and pure and loving, and I don't remember the other one. Unselfish.
The one everyone forgets.
But all of that,
it's the of the Hupple.
I didn't know if it was HPL, where you pretend there's a vowel there, a Hippo, But
Nope.
I don't. Nope. So you bring up, AA and the 12-step program. There are a lot of aspects. It's really, I see it as just how to be a good human being, and there are pieces that I take, and there's, I think, just about every episode when I'm like, yeah, wow, should be doing that. Where you take, well, you take inventory on a daily basis, and I'm like, damn, that's really a good thing. that's a really good idea, and that's something that I should strive for. So, the Hupple was the first one that really kind of hit with me, and but I almost always get something out of every episode.
Nice. Thank
So
you.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
And
No.
and
Thank you.
No.
all the thanks is on this side of the table.
It's all over here.
So, what do they tell us, Mike, about the steps as far as the word alcohol in the steps? What do they tell us about that?
It's well, it's probably the least important thing. It really is. It's the substance. It's a symptom, as the big book says. Alcohol is just a symptom. We're rotten people, and we need to be better. And if we're better people, then we don't need the substance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the word alcohol, it only appears in step 1. The rest of the steps have nothing. If you read them, it has nothing about alcohol in them or anything like that. So that's where, and that was pointed out to us, I think, relatively early, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it is, and you just said it, Kath. I mean, it's they're kind of I mean, I don't know, anyone, I think, and I know when I first got sober, and I think, Mike, you and I probably talked about this. It just, when you start to get into these steps and things like that, and then you're out in the world, and you're like, why can't everyone just go to a fucking meeting?
Right.
Just practice even one of these fucking steps.
Why is that person lying to me? I know they're lying. Damn it! Honestly, couple. So
you just want to hand them a pamphlet, not because you have an alcohol problem. Just read the steps.
You're just an asshole.
Yes.
Right. Try to read this and then see.
It's funny because growing up with when Dad sobered up, I thought I knew all there was to. Well, not all there was. I thought I had a good. I know, laugh, right?
I'm laughing at myself because I thought I had it out. I was laughing at me,
Yeah,
not you.
no, I did. I thought I had a good handle on what AA was until you guys sobered up and watching you go through it. And I've been more involved, attending meetings with you, going to Founders Day, even listening to the podcast and really understanding what the program was about. I didn't have a freaking clue. I just had I had a dad who was a sober alcoholic, and so I had knowledge and I appreciated that, but I didn't know anything about the program.
Well, and the thing of it is that he talked about it. Did you ever go to a meeting with him?
Yeah, we did when we were kids. I mean, I know I listened. We were there one time when he led. I don't remember the specific.
Yeah, and I don't remember that.
I remember being there, and I remember him leading, and I remember just wanting to leave because it was it was freaking me out. It was. I mean, we probably would have been what I was probably 14, 15, and it was too much, too soon.
Right.
The honesty. It was too close because it wasn't all that long since he and Mom had split up, and. I didn't want to hear the bad stuff. I wasn't ready for it. And so I remember, and we were there at a meeting, I know, because I remember meeting Dad's sponsor, but I don't remember it being Jack. And God, I wish I did. So I listened to his lead, don't remember any of it. So I've been to a couple of meetings with him, but I don't remember a lot of it.
And I have, I just remember being at the meetings, even when I worked for him. So you figure I was, 18, 19 years old. But still, I just remember going with him and Stu. Mike, I told the story about Stu.
Right.
But I don't remember anything about the meetings. But so and that was one of my other questions. So on the whole dad thing, and clearly, I've talked about our dad on here and the fact that he got sober, 29 years and all that sort of thing. So. Mike, first of all, you talked about your mom. She was an alcoholic, and you had mentioned, it might have been in the last episode, that I think you said that you had the gene. So do you feel for you that it's genetic, and that's something we hadn't talked about before?
Nature, nurture.
Personally, for me.
Well, for Mike first.
Yeah. For me, definitely. My grandfather was an alcoholic, and my mother was, and I don't know about my father's side of the family. I just don't. But Yeah, it's definitely genetic with me. I have the allergy, and it's a physical thing. Yes, I have the mental obsession too. But that developed. I firmly believe that it's a physical thing with me, that I react differently to drugs and alcohol than a normal person would.
Yeah, and what do you think, Kath? I mean, because I look at us, and well, here's the thing, and and I understand the genetic part of it, and I feel that I have the same thing. I mean, I feel that I have that thing, but where did it come from?
Right.
And to begin with, I think that's part of what I don't, man, I don't even know if I questioned it, but there was so much talk about it being a family disease and this and
Mm.
that, or it could be this or it could be that. And finally, and I'm sure I heard it, somebody in the league say it, but the person said, at least my feeling now is I have no idea why, but I know I am, and I
Hmm.
know what the solution is, thankfully. And, we're part of that solution, thankfully.
Right.
Because and that was kind of my question for, on Kathy's side of things. So we came from the same father, of
Hmm.
course, and, do you, and I don't know, do you think that you like had the gene and just didn't take the path, or how do you feel about that?
Uh, I don't know. Do I have the gene? I don't know. Um, do you, would there are a lot of similar, do you, I would see a genetic component in you for sure, just because the way that, the extreme that dad was at when he sobered up is, no, I mean,
Right.
seriously, is very similar
Hmm.
to, you were the exact same thing, I mean, really extreme situation before you sobered up. Dad, but I don't know. Do I have the gene? I don't know. But I'm also very,
Well,
well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, brothers and sisters, will have different eye colors or different hair color. I mean, it can miss you.
It can. I mean, I'm crossing my fingers on that
So
one.
in other
Well,
words, so he shot it into me and not you.
oh my
Great.
Right.
God.
Thanks, Dad.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, maybe that. I'm not even going to
I
go there.
know,
Never
right?
mind.
Stop,
Never mind.
stop right now. But but I'm
Thanks,
also
Dad.
I'm also like,
Wait, are you still blaming someone else?
wow.
That's exactly why I did it that way.
Yep.
Yes, I was waiting for you to jump in. So thank you, Mike.
You're
Again,
quite welcome.
I'm sitting here and I'm like in my head. I'm like, why are you not saying anything?
I'm gonna get there.
But
Don't you worry.
Right. Thank you, sir.
I'm also very personally aware of tendencies,
Hmm.
uh, or like, let me give you an example. So, beginning of the pandemic, everything closes down, and I'm working from home, and I'm a banker, so the government was giving out all this money um, to companies to try and help when everything was shut down, make sure they can continue to pay
Hmm.
people, these PPP loans through the SBA that were administered by banks. So basically, like 12 hours a day, all I'm doing is sitting at the dining room table, inputting applications, trying to get people's loans submitted. Da, 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 da. I'd wake up at 6 in the morning, I'd log on, I'd work till dinner, take a break, and then work till bedtime. But so I'd make dinner, and then afterwards, then it was a little more low key. I'd have a glass of wine while I was putting in some of these applications. Um,
Hmm.
right?
These people got denied.
No, they were all accepted, by the way. But that's exactly where I'm going. So,
Uh,
there were nights that I was working till 10, 11, midnight, and I'd kill a bottle. And I did that twice during the pandemic, and I'm like,
Hmm.
wow, you know what? Be self-aware. This can't be a habit. And so I stopped, because my normal is a glass or two of wine. And
Hmm.
so I know, and we're not even paying attention to it. It's over the course of many hours. I wasn't drunk, but it was a tendency,
Right.
or it was something I don't like. I don't need to drink a whole bottle of wine. So I tend to be uber aware if I see a trend in myself. Um, I've never physically been like, oh my God, I have to have wine. Or if I don't have a cocktail tonight, I'm like, I can't survive. But I just.
Can you relate to any of that, Bill? Because I sure as hell can't.
Charlie Brown's teacher. That's about what I
Wah,
heard for
wah,
the
wah,
last
wah,
like 2-3
wah.
minutes. Normal rap. Don't
Right.
need rap.
Right. But there you go. There you go. Yeah, there's the difference in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Right. You've never had the compulsion. You never. Us, we're like, oh, good. I'm. Oh my God, the pandemic would have happened, and I actually had a job. I could sit there and get drunk and get paid for it. Woohoo!
Right. Yeah, and that's as you were telling that story. I mean, you were perfectly answering that question. So, but yeah, it's been one of those things where, you look at that again, that lineage and things like that. Is that is it in the male side of things? And who knows? I mean, I don't know.
No,
Whatever the deal is.
I mean, I know.
Yeah, we know plenty of females.
I don't know.
No, I'm saying the male side of thing in our family.
Oh, right.
In our family.
yeah.
Oh, in our family. Yeah, sure. But I don't know that that's necessarily a thing. But
No.
Right.
No. Oh no,
in
we
our
know.
family,
God,
sure.
we know some hardcore women.
Yes, we do.
We've heard some stories.
Yeah.
So no, you ladies out there, I take nothing away from you. You ladies hit it hard, and I respect the shit out of you for it. I'm like, damn. Yeah. Wait till we start getting some of these people on, especially our friend, the chick from California. She's got stories. The Daphne, the other one I was just talking about, I heard briefly what her story was, and I've, I mean, God, think about all the friends of ours in Cleveland.
Yeah.
My God, these women don't play, that's for sure. So, they were equal opportunity right there. That's for damn sure.
Sometimes, and Bill, I've told you this before. There are times that sometimes I feel like I don't really fit because I drink, but I don't drink a lot. So I drink, so I don't really fit in with the sober crowd, but I don't really drink a lot. So when I'm out with people or friends where they're like, oh, keep ordering drinks, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm going home. I'm kind of past that point too. So it's a weird in between. Sometimes it just feels a little weird, like there's not a place.
No, that's normal. That's what normal people do. They go out and they have a drink or two and they go, I'm done. And they go home and they wake up in the morning and they go to work and they take care of their kids and pay their bills and then a week later they'll have a couple more drinks. We just don't understand that.
Right. True.
Yeah, so, but I mean, I know, and you were talking about that recently, because, there's still, well, I mean, there's a lot of people that we went to high school with, I mean, specifically the people that I went to high school with, I've got a lot of high school friends on Facebook and things like that. One of the reasons I haven't been open on Facebook ever since I've been sober is because probably, I don't know, 60%, if not, well, probably 70% of my Facebook friends are either family or my sober friends. And there's another probably 30% that are, high school friends maybe, or just people I've met randomly over the years. But out of, literally, it's like all these high school friends that I had, there's some I've had interactions with on Facebook. They're cool, but man, they're in a whole different level. I mean, they're still out drinking and partying, and everything they're doing is, involving, revolving around that. Same thing we were doing, but they're still doing it,
Right.
So, I mean, but again, I mean, I'm not judging them. It just I have no desire. I've seen nobody from high school. We've been out of high school since '86.
Right.
And I've seen the 5-year reunion. I went to that, and ever since that point, I'm like, I have no desire,
Right.
So. But yeah, I mean, going out and having a drink or a couple of drinks and wanting to come home. I mean, that's like Mike just said.
That's normal.
Yeah, that happens to be normal.
I poured out a bottle of wine a week or so ago because I didn't like it. I bought a bottle. I tried something new, and I was like, "This tastes gross." And I had a glass, and I poured it out.
Again, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right. Well, I watched her pour it out. Did I say anything when you poured it out? Oh, I think I in my head I was just like, "Fuck, man,"
Right.
because I mean, I wouldn't have cared if I liked it. You know, I mean,
Mm-mm.
I would have just drank the motherfucker, be like,
Right.
"Fuck this, man."
Hmm. This sucks. I'm putting it down. I'm going to do it fast.
Yeah. Well, I'm never gonna buy this again after I drink the entire bottle.
Exactly.
I'm gonna buy something else that'll fuck me up that I at least like the taste of a little bit.
Hmm.
um, God, no, I had something. Any other thing on like on that? Any other bits and pieces that you've picked out of there, or anything else specific, or just? And again, it was more curiosity because I know you mentioned it, but I never asked you.
What do you mean about what?
Well, you said that you know things that you've picked up about through the podcast
Oh,
and that have kind of helped you out.
um,
That's where we started
I
on
know.
this. See, I did remember that. I still have
Me
that
too.
memory.
Right. Um, Specifically, that was the big one. Like I said, every once in a while, you'll come up with something that makes me think, "Wow, that's a great idea. I should work on that." That's
And we need to point out that every time that happens, they are not original ideas from either Bill or I.
yeah. But you're saying it out loud and you're reminding me
I know.
how to be a good human being, really.
Right.
So, um,
But yeah, we've made that very very clear that all the things that we, and again huge air quotes, that we know,
Hmm.
they're just we're just a filter for them. That's all.
mhm.
It just
Yep.
somebody else gave it to us, filtered it out, and it's spitting out of our pie
Right.
holes.
Yep.
Wow.
There is there's nothing original that we've been talking about. But so the other question I had though is that do you in and I remember Mom and Larry like being at the one Keating Center Father's Day event. Do you remember when did you first meet Mike? I mean, I know it had to have been in a Keating Center event, but do you remember when you first met him?
Not specifically. I do remember the first time.
Mm.
He was just like we were talking. He was just there one day.
No,
Yeah.
no.
All of a sudden you're like, where have you been? I've been here the entire time. Fuck, I didn't know where you were.
There,
He was just you. You turned around at Thanksgiving. He's sitting at your table.
no,
Okay,
Right.
there was a lot of lead up.
right.
There was a lot of lead up because because at the time you're in the Keating Center, and that's when after Dad had died, and so Kylie and I would come out every month and we'd visit. When you lose somebody close, you you have a greater appreciation to be close and to everybody that's left. And so, we used to get to Ohio 2 times a year, maybe three. And so we started coming out every month. And primarily that was to visit with Grandma and make sure that she was doing okay, but also to see, Mom and you and all the rest of the family in Ohio. And so that became a thing. And so over that time, when you got your out time, I would come pick you up and go back to the house and hang out. And you just started talking about this friend. You made a friend, and you were really excited. And
I have a friend.
well, it became honestly, right? I mean, he started showing pictures. He's like, this guy, he and I are, he and I clicked and we were close. And he's showing pictures. He's like, never somebody somebody I'd cross the street to avoid. And I'm seeing
Yep.
pictures of this, this goth guy and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, you got a group romance going on, don't you? But
I've never heard this before. This is good. Keep going.
You know what? I think I was still like half hungover when I said all that too.
Okay.
no, this was what
No,
the
I have no doubt that I said all that.
the
No, you were cool, man. We clicked right away. We weren't like super good friends right away, but
Mm-hmm.
the time
Hmm.
the first time that I remember that stands out was Christmas, because you came over for Christmas, and it was after dinner, and we were sitting at John and Gale's in the leather room, and Mike comes in and he plops himself down. No, but I had met you before. That was the first time you had met
Sure.
Mark,
Yeah.
and like the whole family. But I remember you plopped yourself
Right.
down in Uncle John's chair, like the king's chair, and it's like he's in
Ah.
Johnny's chair. He's doing? He's John's chair. And Uncle John came in and he sat like on the floor on the couch, and it's like Johnny never sits on the couch. He always sits in the chair.
Mm.
It was,
so
but I had met you before that. I just remember that was the first time you met the rest of the family. I don't remember the very
Right.
very first time. It was just all of a sudden.
No,
What I remember is all of a sudden, it was dinner and we're sitting around the table at Mom and Larry's and we're playing Dummy Rummy. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember a post on Facebook, had a great time. Thank you to those people. And,
Mm.
all of a sudden there was this huge transition from those people where you're like trying as hard as hell not to join our family who is grabbing every inch of you and pulling you in. And then all of a sudden it's like, you can't deny it. You're one of us. So,
Yeah, well, you've got to realize my my relationship with my actual family wasn't all that great, so I was a little leery of other families, but you won me over.
well, you probably should be marrying all of us, but what the hell?
No, absolutely not.
but yeah, I do remember those people type of thing, and they finally were just
Mhm.
kind of like, yeah, you can't do that anymore.
Right?
Right,
Can't
you're
do it
one of
anymore.
us.
Yeah, right in front of your eyes. That to your biggest surprise, you became one of those people.
Yes, I did. It's one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Same.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and it's kind of funny because when and it's been a while, I guess since we've met, like people that we don't know, but I mean we've talked a lot, on here and stuff like that, and the fact that clearly we've known each other and been friends for 12 years. I mean, not
Hmm.
close friends for that amount of time, but
Damn
um,
close.
one of the what. Yeah, but I mean, one of the things we talk about all the time is the fact that we've never had a fight, which I think the reason I
Right,
keep bringing it up is because it's staggering to me that we've never had an argument because
right.
the Keating Center and the stresses that went on there, living in a
Hmm.
fucking bedroom for a year,
Yes, we did.
and then learning how to literally coexist in our apartment and stuff together.
Hmm.
So it's just crazy, but yeah, and that's I tell people that all the time, and I find somebody, man. You gotta have some. At least it's my opinion. There's
Hmm.
people outside of 12-step programs still feel that there's the fellowship end of it, that people can't do the sobriety thing on their own. And I don't.
Right.
I mean, for anyone else out there, I do not care. Mike doesn't care if you choose AA or NA or a 12-step or a therapist, whatever the hell you do to stay sober. That's cool. That's the goal.
Hmm.
But I think it's a fair statement to say that you better find somebody to help you out. You
Right.
know, somebody to confide in, somebody that you can call on, somebody that you can, when shit gets weird, when you can't go to a meeting or whatever
Hmm.
the case is, somebody you can make a phone call to or something like that.
Right.
And I mean, and I know you feel this way, but just being in the Keating Center itself, and then in that three-quarter house, is much. I don't know, as much shit that went on in that three-quarter house.
Hmm.
You gotta agree it was nice be able to literally turn and having a guy right there to talk to. Not me necessarily. Even
Right.
if I was there was all these other guys in the house. You could walk out in the living room and just say, "Dude, I got a problem."
Right, exactly. And not everybody there.
Right? Yeah,
But
like
yeah,
if
definitely.
somebody's faded on the couch because they were,
Right. Hmm.
shooting up,
Oh my
Right,
God.
in
right.
secret, right? Oh yeah, that
But
happened plenty of times.
oh,
Not
it
plenty.
did.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, well, the two that come to mind are Michael and Uncle Frankie. I mean,
Hmm.
and who are both still sober to this day. I see Michael fairly often, and I run into Uncle Frankie once in a while. His sponsor is Chicken Dan, who's a really good friend of mine. I was just at his house today. Yeah, and this is coming from someone who is still a loner, is still an isolator. I live in this big old house by myself. Um, and it's the way I like to live my life. I don't like being around people all the time. I don't. I don't. I like being alone. I'm very comfortable with that. But that also being said, I do need. I need to know that there's somebody there for me, and hopefully there's people out there that know that I'm here for them.
Oh
And
yeah.
I can't do it by myself.
Well,
I can't do it by myself.
you look like a badass, but you're the world's biggest marshmallow. And we
Yeah.
love you for it.
Oh,
Once again, great things to get on a recording.
yeah. And once again, I'm going to mute myself and go vomit.
But
But I remember you. No, go ahead, Kath.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I remember Mike talking about the whole, living by yourself. There's a huge difference, and I agree with you, of being alone versus being lonely.
Right.
Oh
And
yeah.
lonely usually means that you have no one to reach out to and nobody there for you.
Hmm.
Where being alone, there's nothing wrong with that. I
Right.
mean, everyone needs their own space and their own time. But but yeah, I mean, and that's the one thing about, the three-quarter house, or just even without that, the fact of all the people, even the couple that you just mentioned, and all the other people that we could reach out to.
Hmm.
I mean, we can go literally anywhere in the world right now, walk into a room and have a friend, which is
Right.
amazing. Just
Hmm.
because of the fellowship that we belong to. So that in and of itself is cool. The little bit of traveling I've done, the traveling that you've done,
Hmm.
having that, it's just it's weird, but it's really cool. You're never
Did I
alone.
tell did I tell this story on here about the first time I went to Mexico?
No.
I don't believe so. I'm sure you did. I
Nah,
think
I
I
don't
know the
think so.
story, but no. Nope.
Right, right. Yeah, I don't think I told it on here either. So, as I've mentioned before, Chris and I go to Mexico every year, and the first time we went down there, we go to an all-inclusive, and that all-inclusive includes alcohol. I've always joked that I'm going to go up. I've never done it, but I've always said I'm going to go. One of these days, I'm going to go up and order a drink and go pour it in the ocean, just because I've already paid for it.
Because you can, because it's free.
Right, exactly. But first time we went down there, there was a couple of moments where I was a little uncomfortable, and I mean, at that point, I was 7 years sober, I think, something like that. And we were out to dinner one night, and I was feeling just not bad, and I certainly didn't want to drink or anything, but I was just something was a little off inside me, and I think probably because of that true isolation. I mean, I was there with Chris, and it was all great, but I think it was the first time since I had been sober. I'm just thinking of this now. I'm talking through it. It was the first time I had been sober that I really was. I'm in another country. I'm away from everyone. That
Oh
support
wow. Yeah.
that Bill just talked about. And so anyway, we're out to dinner. It's probably the second or third night we were there, and ordered our beverages, non-alcoholic, and there was a couple at the table next to us, and I don't remember exactly how it came up, but I think the wife noticed that we didn't order alcohol and said something about it, and turned out the husband was I think 15 or 16 years
Oh
sober,
wow.
something like that. Yeah, and just it was just
That's
there
cool.
was another sober drunk sitting there, and that was enough. That was all I needed. I was cool the rest of the time, and every time we've been down there since then, I've never actually had contact with another sober drunk, as far as I knew, but it didn't matter. Could have been there.
Hmm.
That's enough. Just knowing that, yeah, somewhere in this place there is another one of me,
Right.
and that's enough. Yeah. So yeah, that was that.
Well, and I don't know. I know I told you, but so when I first moved I moved back to Wisconsin. I was in Madison and Jefferson, and when I moved
Hmm.
to Germantown, so I would have been back here, 2 years. So figure I was 5 years sober at the time, maybe six at the time. I went to this golf outing, and it was the company I was working for, a golf outing that we had gone to all the time back in the day when I worked for him before, and it was a big drink fest. Everything was free: food, lunch,
Hmm.
the dinner, the lunch, booze, anything. And I mean, fucking anything you wanted to drink, all free. And I was going, and I'm same deal. I mean, I got enough years under my belt and enough
Hmm.
of that, but I'm like, I plunked right into this old atmosphere, and
Oh
and
yeah.
I felt weird. So I was, whatever. You get the cart ready. I was golfing with our collection manager at that time, and he drinks. He didn't know. He knew I didn't drink, but didn't know the deal
Hmm.
behind. Didn't ask.
Right.
But so got our clubs in there, and I'm like, I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick. So I had already been in Germantown for, I don't know, a week or so, and already hit a meeting a couple of times. So I walk into the bathroom, and I'm washing my hands after I went to the bathroom, and this guy comes and he's like, he goes, "Hey," he goes, "You go to New Day, don't you?" And I'm like,
Mm.
"What are you talking about?" And it was a guy that went to the meeting that I went to at the club in Mequon that you and I went to, Mike.
Right.
And he used to work for one of the car dealerships, so he knew the place, was retired, but they still invited him every year. So same fucking
That's
deal. And
cool.
that just
Yep.
reminded me of it. There was another alcoholic there.
Mhm.
And that in and of itself, like you said, I'm in this sea of this alcoholic behavior that I was involved in
Mhm.
years ago. Um, but and that was like literally right at the beginning of the day. I had eaten lunch. We were about ready to go play golf. I was there maybe 45 minutes. So it was a long day ahead of us. And I had that, like you said, okay, that dude's here.
Yep. Yep. I'm not alone.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
it was same thing at the funeral that I was telling you about. Same thing with that
Mhm.
when that guy walked up to me.
Hmm.
Yep.
So that kind of goes to everything that we've talked about in the past. That whatever you believe in, Mike, whatever I believe in, this power out there greater than ourselves.
Right.
Something puts these people in our path.
Mhm.
And I do believe that. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know why. I don't
Mm.
care.
Right.
I don't care
Right.
one little bit. Not going to question it.
And for me, that is the power in itself.
Yeah,
It's enough for me.
Right.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And some people call those are the things that people call God moments and all those
Yes, they
different
do.
things.
Wow. Yes, I do.
But that's the thing. Whatever people want to label them, I don't give a fuck. They can call
Right.
them a flying goat moment for all I care.
Uh-huh.
But so somewhere out there, I'm sure somebody worships a flying goat. So why not, right?
Sure. Why not?
Right.
To each his own.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
That'd be more of like a flying sheep. But anyhow.
Mm.
So you know what? I'm looking at the time here, and we're at like an hour 4 right now. So
We are.
we're getting to that point. But Kathy,
Yes.
our esteemed guest, what other questions do you have before we wrap up?
As-
Anything else on your mind?
Yes. As normies, how can we help?
Yes.
Yes.
You can't.
Okay. Well, let me put it a different way then. As normies,
No.
how can what? I don't know how to say it other than how can we help? How can we less annoy? How
Right.
can we support? How can we blah blah
Oh,
blah?
no, nothing. You're everyone in this world is going to annoy anyone else in the world, whether we're sober or not. We know how to deal with you. We know how to deal with everyone. Whether they're drunk, sober, anything like that. We have the tools to do that. What I was going to say, what I thought you were asking was how can you help us if we need it? My answer was just going to be there and be available. You know enough about this thing now that, if somebody comes to you, just, have your hand out the same way that we would have our hand out to somebody else. That's all that any normie has to do is to be open to help if help is asked for. That's all.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, one last
Yeah.
question. Chicken Frankie, Uncle Dan, all the nicknames. Do you guys have nicknames from the Keating Center?
I'm
well.
Metal Mike.
Metal Mike, you're not weird.
Well, and-
You're not weird beard.
No,
that was-
that's
that
just
the
there.
kids.
That was Derek.
Right.
Well, and I got named the cheesehead motherfucker by
Right.
Dante.
Dante. Yeah.
And that
Wow.
was really fucking early on.
Yes,
'Cause
that
I was-
was.
I mean, because we were still shit. I don't even think we were 60 or 90 days sober.
Oh no. I believe you had that moniker within my first week there, so you'd only
Really?
been there a few days before. Oh yeah. He was called. He called. That's how I first knew you. She said, "Motherfucker."
She said, "Motherfucker."
I didn't know you. I didn't know Bill. No.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That
Cool.
that dick from Wisconsin.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, and that's what was funny because that's why I asked you on the one episode. Now, as soon as even though I'm only here temporarily, man, I at this point I not only value it, I demand that people call me that now. It's and yeah, that's Marty calls me that
Oh
too.
yeah,
the
Marty,
cheesehead
that cheesehead.
motherfucker.
Yep. Tell
That's
that
awesome.
cheesehead motherfucker I said hello.
Yep. Yeah, that was a one time. I remember I was when Ryan first got in there, and I was when we got there, I talked to him like, so how's Marty been, whatever, and he goes, oh, Marty said to say hi, and I'm like, okay, what did he really say? And he
Right.
said, he says, tell that motherfucker I said hi. I'm like, there's the Marty I know and love. Yep.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. He didn't say, oh, just tell Bill I said hi, give him a little hug. Not happening. Not happening.
Nope.
All right. So, Kathy, obviously, thank you. This has been cool.
You're welcome.
I don't know if you're going to hit Rival Sons or not. We'll see. We'll see where we're at in a week. We'll wait.
Right.
We'll wait for the audience to pull in on this.
Right.
Wait for
I
the
don't.
numbers to come in.
Yep. Call now and tell us what you think. 1-800 Who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
But no, seriously, thank you. Obviously, we'll tell you the same thing we told Chris. I mean, you're welcome anytime. I'm going to say that to be nice, but we may never have you on again. But
Really was looking forward to being the final, the grand finale. But whatever.
no, but it makes more it makes more sense. I was thinking 25, but no, 26. Cut 52 in it. Nope, it's got to be after next week. So yep. But anyhow, so seriously, thank you. I appreciate it. And Mike, anything else on your mind?
Not a goddamn. Well, you know what? Actually,
Wow.
Oh, here we go.
Yep. No, you know what? I don't listen. I meant to do this. I meant to do it earlier, but I do want to do. I'm going to get serious here for a minute. I listened to last week's episode. I don't listen to every episode all the way through, but I did last week. And when we were telling the story about when Mom called, and I thought that you had possibly fallen off the old wagon, and basically we were laughing our asses off, and me saying, go kill yourself, just get it over with. That was us. That's different. For everyone listening out there, that is not my response to when someone fucks up and they need help. It is for Bill, only because he knows, and if he chooses not to do what he has to do to stay sober, then yes, my advice to him is to go fucking kill himself. But only because, I don't inflict pain on anybody, man. You're not worth it, and we are.
Right.
But, yes. But I just wanted to make it clear, and we joked about it and all that good stuff, but that is not my response. If you need help, don't think if you walk up to one of us alcoholics, we're going to tell you to go end it. We're going to tell you to start working, do the work that we do every day. That's what I'm going to tell somebody. I just wanted to make that clear, because when I listened to it, we were laughing our asses off, but it did come off as a little callous, and God knows we are calloused. We are very calloused, and if you've listened to this, you know that. But we are callous, but we care. I believe Kathy called me a marshmallow earlier, and I do. Because of this program, I give a shit about other people. So if you're having a problem, man, go find some help. Yeah, it's out there, and we will help you.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, and Mike and I talk to each other. We don't talk to anyone else like we talk to each other, but
Right.
We're close enough, and I just say we've earned the right to talk to each other the way that we do.
Absolutely.
Because we're almost like talking to ourselves when it comes to that, and that's probably the easiest way to put it. That you and I are just, I would tell you the same thing I'd tell myself. I would give myself the same advice. So it's a good point. I didn't look at it that way, but I'm glad you picked up on that, because we want to make sure that as much as we fuck around on here, we would help. We would do anything within our power to help anyone that we could.
Yep.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Cool.
And,
all right. Now on that note.
No, wait. I
ahead,
did
Kath.
have one last thing to say. I am proud as hell of you guys, and I love you tons.
We love you too.
Yep. We love you.
Yes.
And now Mike's going to tell you to fuck off in a second, so let him be. Let him be.
I find that endearing,
All
though. I
right.
love it.
Okay, I'm gonna mute her now so you can do your thing.
Oh, make it turn purple. She likes it that way.
And I didn't mute her though. I didn't mute her. No, go ahead, Kathy. She muted herself. That's awesome. All right, go ahead, Mike.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to another episode of Sober Not Mature. As always, be kind to yourself and to everyone around you. Go out there this week, do something good for somebody else, and don't tell anybody about it. And, leave us a 5-star rating, buy a t-shirt, buy a coffee mug. And as always, please, fuck off.
And as always, I love it. See, you made her giggle over there too.
Yay! I made somebody happy.
Yeah.
You did. All right, brother. All right, sister. I love you both,
Love you
and
too.
we'll talk soon.
See ya.
Mike.
Love everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
As always, thank you for listening to another episode of Sober, Not Mature. To access all of our content and interact with us, please visit our website, SoberNotMature.com. Thank you again for listening, and we will talk to you soon.